welcome. I'm Ira. I'm redesigning Concord characters for fun. I've already redesigned 4 of them and you can find them all in this neat playlist. Make sure you check that out. Today we are here to talk about old people. Duchess is a ranger, meaning she's a damage dealer specialized in close quarter combat. I want to say, if my voice sounds weird, I've been sick for way too long this past month, so please forgive me and just ignore it, thank you. She has a machine gun, I have no idea why they thought that's fun, rhyme not intended, and can summon walls. Her passive says she's not inflicting self-damage from personal blasts. I'm not talking about game mechanics and weapons much, because it's not something I have knowledge of, but it sounds like thank you for not blowing yourself up, I guess. She's one of the few characters to be part of an animation. She's obviously old and wise, scolding the young and reckless Roca, although I would like to see more of the royal approach to her, or at least more superiority than somebody's just grandma on the battlefield. I don't mind her in the video. The head of the mission and the MVP here, it's actually Kips, and we'll talk more about her when her time comes. I found it curious that we don't see Duchess' weapon in this animation, only her magic, and that is something I will lean into as well. As these videos are not just redesigning Concord characters, they are a exploration of how to make fun characters. I try to take you guys with me on a journey of learning new things about character design, and it's pretty obvious that today we are going to talk about age diversity and how important it is. Be it games or stories, adding elders can create a lot of depth, as there are stories that you can only tell through the eyes of an older person in a way that's believable. Be it mentors that need to be surpassed or mentors that act as downfall for the mental state of the character, be them wise or crazy, parents or war veterans, having elders adds a level of complexity and realism to your story. Adding any kind of age diversity adds that complexity, to be honest. Even if the target audience is not old, it's not my grandma, we all know or have somebody in our family of that age. It's a somewhat easy way to create characters that people can relate to, that are not necessarily a mirror for the target audience. Duchess? Wait, can we talk about these names, because it started to bother me since I've redesigned though. Why are all of their names so cult-like? That's usually a given when there's a real name behind that. You have a lot of examples in Overwatch and other games, but in Concord, it's just their names. Duchess is her name. I don't like to badmouth the creators, as we don't know what went down, but this is a choice that makes me feel that not much thought went behind these characters. Anyway, Duchess actually falls in none of the examples I gave above, because she actually has a story. I know! I finally found the archives presented in game after going from Reddit to YouTube post to everywhere. I searched everywhere and finally I found somebody that posted these archives. They were supposedly a in-game Wikipedia, if you want, from characters to places to planets to everything in-game. I'll put the link in the description if you want to check it out, and from now on I will be keeping it in mind as I continue to redesign the cast. So far I've redesigned Baz, that already has a story in-game, but luckily I was pretty spot on in her rebellious approach, so that's a win on my part. You can pause to read now, but essentially Duchess was born in a high family part of the guild, which, yes, finally, somebody part of the enemies. I wanted to do this for a long time, but I didn't find the right character. She grew up as part of the guild, which is, in case you don't know, the main antagonist of the game. During a war, she fell in love with a sparked robot, which I assume is like saying it's more of a artificial intelligent kind of entity. She lost them, and then she left the guild in the pursuit of them for the past 82 years. So while the story is not something that we need her to be old for, I think we can make this work, and I think we can have a pretty cool conflict between the guild and old era, versus the freerunners and the new era. The conflict of a stubborn old person that wants to prove that their outdated ways are still useful. It's a pretty common trope when the setting allows it, and I think it's pretty cool. Anyway, please have a look at this. She's perfect. She's so interesting, looks rich, looks like she has something to say, looks powerful. I get that maybe this is her formal attire and she needed something different while she's fighting. That is okay, but still, how do we go from this to this? With all of that in mind, what I like and I don't like about her design precisely. Duchess is one of the few designs that has some trim and the idea of texture on her model, and that's cool. But I don't personally like the cape. It feels very heavy and very blankety, but I like that she has one, so we are going to keep that. Now there's room for interpretation, because somebody is going to say, yeah, but she was in the guild, she does not want to be connected to the guild anymore. Sure, but when you don't want to be recognized as somebody who was part of the guild, then you will change everything about yourself, right? Not only that she's still using her powers, but she's keeping the name Duchess. So for me, that's not strong enough to say that she wanted to leave that life behind. I will inspire her design on the Nanai people, which are a cultural group from southeastern Siberia and northeastern China. I chose them because I think this design on Duchess jumpsuit is pretty similar to theirs, and she's also the only Asian looking character, if I'm not mistaken. You guys were pretty happy with the Mobius design of Do, and I will try to keep that in mind for her. I think it could work pretty well for her as the main design. Also about that, I think it would have been really cool to have Mobius designs as skins for the characters. I think that will be really fun. Another little thing about that, before I start drawing, there's an entry in the Concord's archives about guild's commanders called Talon. Look at this design. It's 100% Mobius inspired, and it's cool. I really wish they kept this idea and didn't try to make it realistic, because this would have been so fun. A little intervention from Ara from the future. I'm actually feeling much better, if you can't tell by my voice. Thing is, I drew for 2 hours and I recorded the wrong screen, and then I couldn't record for quite a while. I'm here, I'm recording, I'm feeling fine. Let's finish this. To start, I will tell you guys what I have done already. I started with her head. I tried to change her hair and give her more accessories to look a little bit more similar to her concept art. I thought that's pretty cool, but now looking back, I don't like it and I will actually change it. The star of this piece is the cape. I wanted a cape that brings out her noble kind of blood, because she's with the guild. She's born in richness and privilege and stuff like that. I wanted it to show through her design. I used this Earth E pattern on her cape, which I thought it's really cool. And if you look back on her initial cape, there's a little bit of asymmetry. I wanted to keep that, but give it a reason. And I kept one side perfectly straight and perfectly clean, showing her guild days, but on the other side I cut the cape as if she was in fight, because nowadays she's not in this richness anymore. She is a mercenary, that's her point. Initially I wanted to change her body suit thingy to red, again to go back to her concept art. I added back the purple into the cape, so I still keep something of her present design, but eventually I actually kept the purple as it is, and you're going to see that it looks pretty okay. I really want you to look at her arms, because I really liked how I drew this hand. Like, please look at the hand. I kept the idea to have her use her hands for different abilities. One is for magic, one is for her machine gun, submachine gun. That has two reasons. One, it's cooler than just having a random weapon attached to her. Secondly, it's a little bit alluring to her guild, so I wanted to connect her a little bit to that. I changed her story a little bit. I am not having her anymore searching for that true love robot. Like deep inside, she's still hoping to find them, but it's not her goal anymore. Right now, she's a threat to the guild, and she realized the bad things they were doing, so she's using her knowledge and her prestige, I guess, to fight against them. And that's why she joined the Free Gunners. Another thing that Concord did bad, and I realized this while making this redesign, is that even if it had game modes, it didn't have a goal for the characters. It didn't have a moment where you shine, and that is usually a ultimate ability. If they had a ultimate ability, which maybe I'm wrong, but I didn't see any, then maybe people will be more inclined to play the character. Otherwise, it just ends to be just a shooter. The hero part, the epic part, is missing. So from now on, what I'm going to do for the next redesigns, if you guys still want me to continue, I know I'm slow, but is going to try to make them have a ultimate ability that could work. I know now what you're going to say, but you said you're not good at weapons, Ira. I am not, actually, but I think I can make something which will be quite OP, I guess. I don't know all the tuning to make things work and all the how will this affect the other player stuff, but I still can make a concept, and all these redesigns are right now are concepts. Anyway, here I start working on the main body after I colored the arms. I wanted to keep the slick vibe of it, mostly because, well, she's a old woman. It's a little bit expected to be pale unless you are Ambessa. But that doesn't mean she can't stand her ground. That's the point. She needs to look like her age, but at the same time like she could put up a fight. I went for this way much regal vibe to her. I wanted her prestige to be her main point, because I'm looking at the rooster and she's kind of the only one that could fit that. I'm using the same design as she has on the top. You'll see me struggling a bit with the colors of this thingy. I changed it, I made it in a different color, I changed it again. I wanted something specific. I wanted her to feel still like the character she is, but to make a better throwback to her initial concept and to her story. Now you're going to see me struggling to change the color of the cape because it was a little bit boring, the purple on purple, and I kept trying to find something that works with the golds, but still keeping her vibe. And now I started to work on the arms, and I thought, what if I give her long arms? Actually, I did it to see how it looks like, and I didn't like it. And I think this is important to remember when you make characters. Your first iteration of the character is not it's not supposed to be the final product. Eventually I returned to the hair because I was not happy with it. It looked too polished, too clean, and she was still a free gunner. The hair in the original was alright, actually. I liked it, but I couldn't see it well in this design and in this pose. I was also having issues with the contrast, and that's why you keep seeing me going back to black and white, so I can fix that issue. Then it's pretty much straightforward. I added the black for her leggings because there was a little bit too much color already, so I needed something that doesn't catch the eye that much. And from now on, it's pretty much just rendering, adding shadow here and there, just very basic. I didn't polish anything really, because the idea of this is for the design to shine and not for me to make a polished illustration. And finally, I changed the cape again. I made it darker blue, and I think this really pulled the contrast and the color scheme together. I also wanted a little bit of the villainous vibe into her because the guild is the main villain in the Concord story. So while she's not a villain right now, she could be misunderstood because she used to be with the guild, and people are like, what are you now? Are you a spy? Why are you here? It's a source of conflict, and that always brings a character more to life. One funny thing is, the people of Nanai, the ones I inspired the design from, are also called people of the land Earth, and that fits me for power, so that was a little bit another connection that I thought was cool to take. And cut, because this is the third time I am recording for this video. It's just cursed. I don't know what's going on. This is me in January, right now. No longer sick, no longer in December. It's right in January. I am trying to finish this video. The video is just finishing me. There are just two little things I want to talk about this and we are done. And thank you for the patience. I am still learning how to do YouTube. I am still learning how to do videos. I am learning, that's for sure. And yeah, anyway, back to our Duchess. Two things we need to finish this video because it's already way too long. One, I renamed her and I used the name ASIC from a isolate language that's part of another culture next to the Nanai people. All of these cultures are part of the old Manchuria area, and I give our ASIC Duchess a ultimate ability because none of them have, and as I talked before, I want them to have one. For her, I was thinking of Ultimate of Odin from Smite, if anyone knows what I'm talking about. I wanted something like that, but a little bit less warrior-y. I made her somehow control the earth area around her in a circle. This is the top view. The ability is slowing down every enemy that's in the circle area, and after 4 seconds cast, create a earthquake and it deals massive damage. It's also a little bit like Nunu's ability from League of Legends or like Mei's ability in Overwatch. I also changed her passive because I thought it's a little bit silly to have a passing saying, oh, she's not inflicting damage on herself. Like, sure. And I made her passive a shield that's absorbing X amount of damage upon entering combat. So this is Duchess ASIC. I struggled so much with this, not much with the design, but more with the technicality of this video. I hope you like it. I hope you continue to support me as I learn more how to do these things. I will continue with this series. I know I'm freaking late to the party, it doesn't matter. I want to finish it and I'm having fun. So next time I'm going to do Emari. I have something already in mind for her. I think you're going to like it. See you next time. Thank you. Bye bye.